Alright, so welcome back to another Blue Lock Rival video. In this video, we're going to be showcasing the newest Loki styles. I was able to get him in probably close to 1,000 spins. And that took like, I want to say 4 to 5 of my ults for him to get him. So, it was a lot, if I'm being honest. The rate was terrible and the code was also horrible. But speaking of the code, this is one of the new codes if you guys want to enter it. JULIAN Loki. The other one is Masters. Looks something like this, and then you can enter that. It pretty much, two codes added together, they give you 10 lucky spins, which honestly isn't worth it. For like 2.5 million interest is already a lot. They should at least give out like, I would say maybe like 25 to 50 lucky spins if I'm being honest, because the rates are horrible. But anyways, with that said though, I did not get the flow, by the way, just in case if you guys were wondering. I just stick with Soul Harvester and I only have 12 left, so I might as well just not spin for it. But I'll probably have it on screen of what the flow does as well, so you guys can take a look at that. But anyways, Loki does have a new animation. So he has a new walking animation, new running animation. His kick animation also looks something like this. Tackle animation also looks different. Header, yeah, also looks different. And then this dribbling one also looks a little bit different. So yeah, Loki has his own animation, which I honestly it's pretty cool and stuff. But anyways, now let's get started with the move. So he has like a bar, if you guys see next to like the blue bar. This is what we call it, well, what they call like a velocity passive. Pretty much you become faster when you have this bar like fully charged. You become faster than like the other players and stuff, which is honestly pretty nice. But if you stop moving, this bar will like fully drain, I believe. Yeah, it fully will drain and you have to charge it up again. But pretty much you run normally, but with the bar charged up, it's going up, you pretty much run faster. So just keep that in mind. First move is called Godspeed Distortion. So this one has two different versions, or actually there's an on-ball variation and there's an off-ball variation. But that off-ball variation goes into 3 other different variations. But on-ball variation, you can use it 3 times. I mean, not 3 times, but 2 times. It pretty much is like a sort of like a TP dash forward in a sense, looks something like this. And it's sort of like, okay, I gave them the ball. Okay, I don't know how that happened, but pretty much Godspeed Distortion, you pretty much run past them and then they get like a whiplash and they get stunned for a little bit. And that's pretty much what it looks like. Before we go on to like the off-ball variation, actually let me see. Yeah, we cannot do the off-ball variation. They're like sort of like together, if I'm being honest. But next move is called Godspeed Stride. So this move, it's sort of like it's a move where you pretty much run around and stuff. You get like a speed boost and you pretty much move around your enemy. So let's say we activate Speed Stride or Godspeed Stride. You guys can see we sort of like teleport around them or like move around them and stuff. So one more time, Godspeed Stride. You guys see we pretty much move around them and then they get like they get stunned a little bit pretty much. And there's also a move that goes in, or God Stride pretty much goes into Godspeed Shot, which is pretty much a strong, I would say, shitty move, which is very nice. So I'll showcase pretty much Godspeed Distortion one more time. You pretty much just do this and then you do this and then they get sort of like a whiplash and they get stunned if they are close by. But the next move is called Godspeed Blitz. This move is also very similar to Godspeed Distortion, so it looks something like this. Yeah, it's sort of like a teleportation forward, looks something like that. But it's also another variation where if you're closer to the ball, it does that. So if you're closer to the ball, it does that. So this is like a stealing / intercepting move. So let's say the ball's in the air or something. Okay, this does not work at all. But pretty much when I'm gonna use my main account, I'm gonna probably use like a shitty move, and then it pretty much intercepts the ball. So I will showcase that as well. Yeah, it looks something like that. So that's pretty much what the intercepting move looks like. So now the next move is called Gear Shift. This pretty much buffs all your moves. So let's say we use Gear Shift. Alright, so now we're pretty much faster as well. And then we use Godspeed Distortion. You guys can see we get no wind up. It looks something like that. And I don't know why the animation is not there, but there's no wind up on this move. And Godspeed Stride as well also gets a little bit of a buff. And also the kick is also becomes stronger. So just keep that in mind. But pretty much what Gear Shift does at the end of the day is pretty much buff all your moves and gives you like no startup. Because, you know, if you use like Godspeed Distortion, there's a little bit of that startup. But if you use Gear Shift, there's no startup. You guys can see it does that. So it's just honestly pretty damn nice if I'm being honest. Same thing with like Auto Ball variant. It pretty much just auto teleports like really fast. There's no like startup or anything, which is honestly pretty nice. And then Godspeed Blitz, like you can just do that. Honestly, really good of a move. Alright, but with that said though, that's pretty much the base. Now let's go through the Awakening. Alright, so we're going to try to explain Loki's awakening as fast as possible. So pretty much Godspeed Distortion, this is the same move as the base, except that you also get Godspeed Shot as well on your C move. But too slow is pretty much a intercepting move. It looks something like that. So whenever an opponent has the ball, you pretty much intercept it, and that goes into Gear Shift, which also pretty much buffs all your moves. So, and then the move Too Slow, this is pretty much like it's an intercepting move. So if you guys have seen pretty much Loki stop Kaiser's impact, it looks something like this. And yeah, he has like pretty much, I guess you can say one stealing move, one intercept move, which is pretty nice. The ball's over there, so let's wait for that. But once you activate, I'll show you guys how to get the, whatever you call it, pretty much the shooting. So once you activate Gear Shift, you pretty much get a speed boost, all that, and then look at that, and then you pretty much get like a shooting move. And if you guys saw that, we got a little bit of that animation things, and that's pretty much what other thing looks like. So pretty much activate Godspeed Distortion one more time. You can either do like a shooting one, or there's like another variation one. I'll showcase that as well. But it's pretty much like a Godspeed Distortion. So technically you get 3 Godspeed Distortions, but I'll explain what I mean by that. So we're gonna use Gear Shift first, and then Godspeed Distortion. Godspeed Distortion one more time. Yeah, you guys saw that we sort of got another sort of, it's called Gear Shift for some reason, but it's pretty much another Godspeed Distortion. You guys saw like that, the color of these pretty much become dark. So once this turns dark, you get Godspeed Shot, and I believe this was like Godspeed Flash or something, but it's called Gear Shift, so excuse me. But anyways, with that said though, that's pretty much it for this video. I will also make a video of the low-key like gameplay and stuff in like another time, but I just want to pretty much showcase Loki in this video. But anyways, that said, I'll end off the video here and see you all in the next video. Bye guys.